What is all this thinking for? Thinking, yes. But in addition to the mind, there is also a great investment in the heart, and the eye, and the funny bone, and the puts. All five often working in tandem and to polyphonic effect. He might think himself a moralist, but the shape of a woman's breasts mattered greatly. Herzog muses lustily on the 19th page of the Penguin edition, switching to the high sensuality of "I used to rub my patent leather shoes with butter" on the next page. Whatever mental acrobatics Herzog has to perform to tire himself out and drift into the wordlessness of the novel's last page, he always has room for a startling aside, a glimpse of something ethereal but true. New York has the sweetest water in the world for a metropolis, Herzog notes, apropos of absolutely nothing. When I was writing my first novel, I thought of that simple sentence quite a bit. Even today, I don't drink bottled water in the metropolis. I take it from the tap, nice and sweet. And so we have Ravelstein, a hedonistic kvetch, as Christopher Hitchens called the titular hero in the London Review of Books, summarizing the novel with one terrifically clever headline, "The Egghead's Egger-on." The egghead and egger-on dyad consists of Abe Ravelstein, who much resembles a certain Francis Fukuyama launching Chicago Straussian named Alan Bloom, and his Boswell, Chick, a Montreal-born Jewish novelist recently remarried to a young woman who resembles, well, I don't want to revisit here the debate on the ethics of Bellow using Bloom's life, especially in revealing his homosexuality and death from AIDS as material. In the end, art wins out. 14 years after publication, Ravelstein, 2000, emerges every bit as vital and poignant as it did then. The fact that this was to be Bellow's last novel, published when the author was 85, neither adds to nor detracts from the novel's concise beauty. It's just something to keep in mind. The first time I tackled Ravelstein, back in 2000, this American mind was as open to long-form fiction as any other, and I wolfed the novel down in one Saturday, between helpings of oxygen and water and little else. Today I find that Bellow's comment, "It is never an easy task to take the mental measure of your readers," is more apt than ever. As I try to read the first pages of Ravelstein, my iPhone pings and squawks with increasing distress. The delicate intellectual thread gets lost. Macaulay, ping. Antony and Cleopatra, zing. Keynes, marimba. And I'm on just pages 5 and 6 of the novel. How is a contemporary person supposed to read 201 pages? It requires nothing less than performing brain surgery on oneself, rewiring the organs so that the neurons revisit the haunts they once knew, hanging out with Macaulay and Keynes, much as they did in 2000, before encounters with both were reduced to brief digital run-ins on some highbrow content provider's blog, back when knowledge was actually something to be enjoyed, instead of simply being ingested in small, career-sustaining bursts. Only 14 years have passed, but it's hard to place Abe and Chick in any current context. What do we make of Bellow's presentation of the typical intellectual as a virile, many-wived, or at least many-lovered creature, a well-traveled adventurer of the mind with butter on his patent leather shoes? And who the hell says things like, "She had a sex hex on you, so you had to be thinking of a violent death for her"? That's Ravelstein speaking to Chick, by the way. I'm not arguing, nostalgically, that one should revive the term sex hex, only that it's easier to write about people who are physically, corporeally, sensually, introspectively alive. In a profile by James Wood, Bellow defended his use of the memoir novel form as regarding Alan Bloom. Well, the truth is that Alan was a very superior person, great-souled. When people proclaim the death of the novel, I sometimes think they are really saying that there are no significant people to write about. Or perhaps it's just Bellow's formative haunts,